Hello, everybody. This is the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards 2021. We are here this morning with five filmmakers for the animated film block, and I'm going to welcome each and every one of them. How are you guys?
Very good.
Good,
Good
thank you.
morning.
It's a little bit cold.
Excellent. Okay, so let's start with each and every one of you. We want to know a little bit who you are, and for example, you can tell me where you are right now. So for me, it's going to be my name is Matt. I am the founder of the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards, and right now I am in California. What about you, Caitlin?
Okay. I'm Cataline Ma, and I'm currently in Vancouver. And my grad film and award-winning film for this festival is Our Sparkles. And yes.
Okay, Christian, what about you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Washington. I am a professor at Huntington University. I'm currently in Arizona. I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, Irentia. Did I pronounce it well, Irentia? We need to do this. Go ahead.
Sorry, is everything fine?
Yeah, everything is fine. Tell us a little bit
Oh,
who
cool.
you are, where you're from, and a few words about your movie.
Okay, so Irene Beurois. I'm from South Africa, Johannesburg. Currently, I'm in Korigas, Namibia, a very small town. I made the movie Ruben Road. I was the animator and director. Yeah, and I'm a full-time animator and director as well, filmmaker.
Okay, excellent. Austin, what about you?
Hello, my name is Austin Vincent. I'm currently in Somerville, Massachusetts. I created Duino, which was my senior thesis project for college.
Okay, Rodrigo, what about you?
Hi, my name's Rodrigo. I'm from Austria. I'm currently in Vienna, and I'm the director of Stray Katana. And it was our first film we made, and it was our graduation film for animation college.
Okay, excellent. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start very simple things. You're gonna describe, kind of pitch the film and the atmosphere and what you wanted to do with that film. Again, for the people who didn't watch it yet, can you tell us a little bit about what it is? Caitlin, let's start with you.
Okay, first. So my film, it's called Our Sparkles, and the film depicts a relationship struggle between a mother who sees no value in art and her child who can't find herself pursuing science, which her mother would prefer. It sounds very much like art students. Not sure if you guys can relate to that. But the story was actually originally designed for Mother and Father's Day, since our completion date for the grad film was in between those days. But the candidate ended up being more for my friends in the end. Like, as we were doing the film, I had so many supports from my friends, and I've been hearing their stories, how they were like all over, they were from all over the world. One friend was from Japan, and her mom was very against her doing animation and art, but she still came all the way from Japan to Canada to pursue art. And I was
Okay.
very influenced by that story.
Thank you for that. Christian, what about you? What's your story and what about this film you want to share?
For sure. Yeah. So I was a producer on a film called The Cactus Cat. It's a film about a cat that's been abandoned by its owner, kind of just dropped off in the middle of the desert. And it basically has to survive. And in its attempt to survive, it comes across this cryptid, which is a cactus that's also a cat. And the cactus cat kind of follows the cat and helps, they kind of bond, and it makes sure that it's able to stay alive. This was the directorial debut of one of my students. Her name is Sarah Wickenhauser. She did a fantastic job. It's a 2D film, about 5 minutes in length. I'm super proud of the work. I think it's a great film, and if you watch it, you'll enjoy it.
Okay, thank you so much. Erencha, what about you?
Ruby and Road was, we used paper cutout animation for the whole film. We shot on a multiplane, so everything is stop motion, no computer animation we used. I did everything. I was the did the concept art, animation, directed it, everything. So it was kind of a solo project. The production side of it was a solo project. it's about Ruby and Roach are two stuffed toys that is stuck in a little airport shop, one of those duty-free shops. They are a bit weird and wonderful, and they don't really fit into their world, and nobody wants to buy them. So they decide to take matters in their own hands and do something about their destiny. So it's a bit about consumerism as well.
Yeah.
And a world where everybody wants and needs to fit in. And if you don't fit into the status quo, you are an outcast. So it touches a bit on those themes.
Sounds beautiful. Austin, what about you?
So Duino is a film about kind of the pitch that I pitched to my class was the first 5 minutes of a robot's life. And Duino, the robot, is created by a young boy named Pete. And it's basically the start of a relationship between them. I really want to get a theme across of like maybe individual parts of art isn't necessarily beautiful, but when you take this step back from it and you see them all together, it creates a bigger message. And that's kind of the driving force of this film.
Okay, very cool. Rodrigo, what about you?
Okay, our film, or yeah, well, our film, I'm speaking for the whole team here, is based on the consequences of it's inspired by the consequences of a historical event in Japan, which was the Shinbara Rebellion in 1638. And it's a film about a Ronin who comes back from war. And he did a lot of things that one should consider horrible. So it's a film about finding out what actually matters the most in one's life, and what to do with all the things that well, basically, what are you able to do with all the things that you have done wrong? So basically, your misdeeds, and it's also about forgiveness. And yeah, it's hard. It's a little bit hard to
Yeah.
describe without like, let's say, spoiling too much. But it's a mixture of different cultures, basically. Japanese culture with Spanish music, and yeah, an inspired event which we like.
Okay. It
Yeah.
sounds like most of you have made movies. Let me just say, usually when we receive animation movies in film festivals, it's a lot of entertainment for kids, animals, you name it. What you just described, most of you, it sounds like you have something to say, even if it's an animated film. So my question is going to be, why did you decide to go with animation instead of live action to tell that specific story? And let's start with Austin.
Well, I went to school for animation. I've always been drawn to it. Some of my favorite films that I took inspiration for Duino was like The Iron Giant and Frankenweenie in a weird way. So I just thought that it was the best way to tell this story because you just have the animation just brings such a magical presence to it, and especially when you're dealing like with a little robot and a kid in the relationship, it's so much easier to get the magic across, I feel, with animation compared to live action.
Okay, interesting. So you felt maybe more freedom into the animation.
Absolutely.
Okay. Caitlin, what about you? Why did you go for animation instead of live action? Or maybe why is this medium better for you to tell stories?
Okay. So first of all, I am from the 2D animation program, and I've always been a fan of the old Silly Symphony and like Happy Harmony cartoons, and I love acting, but I'm a terrible actor. So animation is basically how I show people my acting skills, and I'm really proud of the actings in this film. Tried my best, and hopefully people read out the emotions from this film. And it's kind of half experimental, so that's pretty much
Sure.
I have to add a lot of reasons for like why I need it to be animation, because a lot of experimental things has to be more non-human acting. And,
So you use animation allowed you to go into maybe a non-linear, non-narrative film and experiment more than the live action stuff.
Oh yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christian, what about you on the same subject?
Yeah, just like my peers here, I've always had a love of animation. I've heard one of the directors at Pixar say that they always tend to lean towards telling stories that can only be told best through animation. And I really, really like that philosophy, recognizing that there are some stories that are best told through the animation medium. And so that's one of the reasons that I thought this was a great story to explore. The Cactus Cat is a monster of sorts, and that's kind of hard to do with live action. But yeah, just as Austin said, I also love the magic that comes with this medium, and the fact that it can engage both young and older audiences.
It's a monster, but still, the movie is it's got a lot of poetry into it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Erencha, what about you? Why is animation maybe your medium of choice, at least for this movie?
Well, the choice wasn't really mine. Dorette that wrote the story, she wanted it to be an animated short. We went for stop. For me, it was between using 2D animation or stop motion. I prefer stop motion for most of my projects because I love the texture that different mediums of stop motion presents itself in. And with stop motion, the medium you choose, like we chose to use paper cutouts, and they have certain boundaries or limitations rather,
Okay.
and you have to adjust around those limitations of how you're actually going to tell the story. So I like those challenges of you have these flat paper cutouts and somehow you have to portray a lot of emotion with them, and we literally had their eyes to portray emotion. So I like those limitations, and I
So
think
that's
with
interesting.
Ruby and Roach, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, with Ruby and Roach, I think it just gives it something else. I think, especially with stop motion, it's easier to make something unique because you actually make everything yourself. While with not that 2D or 3D can't be unique, but for me personally, it's easier to make something different with stop motion. Yeah.
That's very interesting. You're talking about the organic feel that stop motion can bring to the screen. And you're also mentioning the idea that when you do have limitation into what you want to do in one way, it just makes you create even more because you have to break that limitations and go over them. So that's pretty interesting. I love it.
Yeah.
Rodrigo.
Yeah, it was a quite challenging, and I love those challenges. I think it gives you a more unique result in the end.
Excellent. Rodrigo, what about you?
So basically, at the beginning we had the choice. We had to choose. So would we do 3D or 2D animation? And we thought like, okay, 3D is cool, but for us, that's our opinion. Like 3D has a kind of cold feeling to it, for us at least. So we thought, okay, let's go for 2D.
Yeah.
And so we took 2D also I think 2D animation, especially like frame by frame, is able to express a lot of different emotions and things you could not otherwise express. For example, in Ghibli films or in Japanese films, like in the traditional ones, which have insane production value. And we thought, yeah, we wanna try something like that, and we were inspired by Japanese woodcut in the style. So that's ukiyo-e, and I think
Yeah.
the themes we are talking about would be very hard to express in this kind of manner in a real life film or in a 3D animated film.
Okay. Did I ask the question to everybody? Did I miss someone? We good? Okay, perfect. There's one thing I've always wondered. I'm a director myself, but I'm not making an animation film. I wouldn't know how to do it and where to start. One thing I've always wondered is, it feels like an animation, you don't have as many limitation as live action in a sense. And how do you decide how long the movie is going to be? Usually when I make a live action film, I kind of know in advance if it's going to be, if it's a short film, I know I want to make a 10 minutes short film. And I write my script in a certain way. If it's a feature film, I know I want it to be 90 minutes. For animation, because you don't have the same environment, do you know in advance how long your film is going to be? Or is there any freedom into that? Christian?
Yeah, I believe it all depends on the story. I'm a big believer that a story should be as long or as short as is needed to accomplish what your goal is. So if your goal with your movie is to talk about the benefits of family or the importance of, helping out your neighbor, and you have a specific character that has a character arc, I don't believe in stretching a film out or not doing its due diligence and like making it too short. So I'm sure a lot of you guys as filmmakers can relate to kind of in that process figuring out, okay, this is the length I need to communicate exactly what I want in a way that remains entertaining and engaging. And so that's what we try to attempt to do with the Cactus Cat.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Austin, same question. Because in animation, are you able to format the same way that we do with live action films, or what's your approach? Or what's your take on that?
Well, for the class that I made this for, we had a minimum requirement of 2.5 minutes, and we couldn't. We didn't really have a limit. But for me, it was just writing the story, as Christian said. It was writing the story and just seeing how long it took. We can't make a lot in 2 semesters worth of class, so I couldn't do this 30-minute long or hour long. So to keep that in mind, keep the story short. But I honestly didn't know the length of my film until my animatic was completed. My script was only about 1.5 pages. And when my animatic was completed, it was 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, I guess it's a 5-minute film,
Okay, interesting. Interesting. It's interesting because you, so far we have different answers. I like that. Rodrigo, what about you? Did you know in advance how long the movie was going to be?
That's a very good question. If I may add something to that, actually, we were not allowed to do more than 3 minutes of a movie. So what we basically did is that we said we want to tell the story that's a little bit more complicated, so we can't take 3 minutes. It's not going to work in 3 minutes. So what we had to do is like say go to the director of the college and say, okay, we need more time. We need 10 minutes, and everybody was against it at the beginning. So basically, yeah, I think I completely agree with was it Austin?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, that depending on the story and what you want to tell, you can already like see or how long it has to be for it to work, because if it's too short it won't work, and if it's too long it won't work. But basically, yeah, before we started the animation, we already knew, okay, this is going to be longer than 3 minutes.
Okay, interesting. Caitlin, what about you? Did you have any limits that you had to fit the film in?
Oh yes, it's my first time making a whole film, and I think it's definitely depends on the story and how complicated or how deep you want to dive into. So because like a person taking a bite of a sandwich can be as long as my film, like 5 minutes. And I actually finished the animatic of my film, which is the overall flow of my film, in February. That's really late, and I had to start production while my animatic was still in the fix, and then I had to finish it by end of May. And I guess it depends on your ability to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So again, like a regular movie, you have production constraints and time constraints to complete the movie. Rencia, what about you? Did you know in advance how long Ruby and Roach was going to be? Did you know it was going to be short? Did you want to make it longer? What's the story behind it?
With Ruby and Roach, I think with most of my projects, the script usually gives a idea of how long the movie will be. But because, especially with something that doesn't have dialogue, sometimes it's difficult because With dialogue, you can almost time it out, but one sentence in a script with animation can take up 1 minute, where with dialogue it's much faster, obviously. So the script gave an idea, but then in the storyboard we got a better idea. So it kind of go with the process. You kind of go,
Yeah.
okay, so this will be about 5 to 6 minutes, but then you say, okay, but this scene we need a bit of more time, so it's maybe going to be 6 minutes. So so it's a give and take all the way, but we knew it will be definitely under 10 minutes because especially in South Africa, we work on very small budgets. So budgets and time is a big constraint. So
Of
you
course,
know you have
everything
to
is
keep it
connected.
short because so you have to keep those things in mind. So it's a lot of
Okay.
small things that
It is. I'm interested in. There is a lot of film festivals right now, and I would like to know if you already had before the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards. Did you have other selections? Did you have wins? And where are you right now with your film festival run? Let's start with Austin here.
Yeah, before I got into this one, I think I got into like 6 other ones. I got into
Good.
my latest award was the Best Shorts competition with an award of excellence. And I've got festivals. I'm hearing back from festivals from now until I think January of 2022. So, and then the list keeps on adding because, of course, Film Freeway always promotes a new one, and you're like, oh, that sounds awesome. I think that'd be great for my film. So, yeah, I'm hearing back from a lot more as time goes on.
And how do you choose? How do you pick the film festivals you wanna go to? For example, why did you pick the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards to submit your film?
You kind of just look at the background of it, you know, what it says on the page, and see if it kind of feels like a fit for your film. Some of them you just know right off the bat, like it would be such an outcast in that festival, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of just reading it, seeing if your film really kind of fits that.
Okay. Erencha, what about you? Where are you at with your festival run, and why did you pick the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards?
We've been submitting for about a year. We started last year January, so I think usually the lifetime is about 2 years for the festival circuit. So we have this year
Correct.
left. We've been chosen for the official selection for 24 festivals already, which
Good.
is very great for me.
It's very good.
And we won 2 awards at the Durban International Film Festival in South Africa for Best South African Short Film and Best African Short Film. We chose, I'm not sure why we chose Hollywood Art and Movie Awards. The producer usually submits for
Fair
all
enough.
the festivals, but she did say that she liked the idea of an American festival, French touch.
Yeah.
So
Oh, nice. I like it. Yeah, we're trying to, I guess every festival is trying to bring something different to the table. And yeah, being French organization in Los Angeles, I guess that makes something a little bit different, I guess.
yeah,
Rodrigo,
yeah.
what about you, Rodrigo?
So when we submitted our film, we just started actually 10 days ago submitting. Up until now, we've won 3 Best Animation Short awards, and we have a list going up to, I think, June or July of submissions. We're selected. We've been selected, I think, 6 to 7 times right now. So we're still waiting, and we chose Hollywood Art and Movie Awards because of the good recommendations and the good things that people said about it, actually.
Okay, so you're talking about the reviews on Film Freeway, I guess?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, we do have good reviews. I hope it's going to stay that way, but we're doing everything we can to do so.
Yeah.
It's the heart and the core of what we do. I mean, when you make a film festival, you want to make it for the filmmakers, so everybody's got a platform and something to say about their film. So we've done Austin, we've done Rodrigo. Let's go with Christian. Christian, what about this? Where are you at with that film in your festival run?
Yeah. So we started our submissions about a month ago. So we're just now slowly starting to get some responses, which is very exciting.
Okay.
Some of the other festivals we've been able to participate in so far include the Student Los Angeles Film Award, where the Cactus Cat was a semifinalist, as well as the Student World Awards, where it was a finalist. But yeah, very excited to be a part of the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards. Kind of like Rodrigo, I just saw the great reviews, and it's always exciting to be a part of a film festival that, you know, has a good reputation and has other great filmmakers taking part in it.
Cool. Thank you for that. Caitlin, what about you? Where are you at with the film in the festivals, and why us? Why the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards?
Okay, I've been selected for like 3 finalists, like for 3 festivals as finalists, and 3 for selected, and 3 awards so far. And continue to wait. And for the why did I choose this one is I actually like the design of the laurel. It was really cute.
That's interesting.
I like
it.
Yeah.
I like it. And you know, that's so you may know that we have the Paris Art and Movie Awards, which is our main festival in Paris, France. And we created the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards 4 years ago because we were working, my wife is a producer. She was working in Los Angeles and in Paris, and same for me. So it was an opportunity for us to create a connection, a direct connection between Paris and Los Angeles. Basically, every filmmaker in Los Angeles wants to go to Paris, but every friend we have and every filmmaker we know in Paris, they want to go to Los Angeles. So it made sense. It really made sense for us to create a little brother of the Paris Art and Movie Awards, so we could create a bridge and connections. And it happens all the time that we have movies selected here in Hollywood, and we bring them to Paris, and film we have in Paris, they come to the Hollywood after that. So it really makes sense. And when we first created the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards, we put a lot of care into the design of the laurels because it's very important. It's something that you're going to put on your poster. It's something that you're going to use on the social networks, on Facebook and everywhere. So we want it to look cute and beautiful. So
yes,
I appreciate it. Excellent.
I love pictures.
Okay. What would you say, last question for everybody, what would you say to encourage people to get a ticket and come and watch your film soon at the next week at the the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards? Let's start with Arancha.
Well, I think, in my opinion, Ruby and Roach is quite unique. So I would love for people to come and watch it. And especially because in South Africa, stop motion is a very small industry. So I would love for South African stop motion to be seen all over the world. So I really hope people will buy a ticket and come and watch it.
Okay. Rodrigo, what about you?
Well, I would say if you're interested to see a unique combination of 3 different cultures, I think Stray Katana is for you, especially if you are into flamenco, Spanish music.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense with the movie. Perfect. Christian, what about you?
Yeah, I would probably say something along the lines of if you love animation, and you want to see great filmmaking, if you like heartwarming stories specifically, this is just a great festival to check out, especially considering you can attend online. Like, it's kind of hard to find a better deal than that. So I personally am very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, you are very right. I mean, it's because it's online. I mean, we have to because of the current situation, but it's also a way that everybody from South Africa to Europe to America, there is no limit right now to attending digitally to the festival. So that's something we can all take advantage of. Austin, what would be your final pitch to encourage the viewers to come and see your movie, Do We Know, at the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards?
I would just say if you like children's sci-fi with maybe a little bit more adult message behind it, if you love to chuckle a little bit, if you want to feel good inside, definitely come to watch the film. Hopefully it makes you feel all those things.
Okay. Caitlin, what about you?
Oh, yes. So my film is not just about daughter and mom. It's about how everyone can shine in different colors, and as a whole, we come together and shine the brightest in the dark. And so it's a bit of comedy, warmth, family, and I paid good money for the music, so the music's really good. And obviously, I shined a lot in the film for my ability to finish it, and all the people who helped. So, good.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. I like the music thing. I paid good money for the music, so you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love it. Did everybody respond the question, or did I miss someone? I think
don't
if
think
nobody
so.
answered, that means we're good. Okay, perfect. Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this, for taking the time to talk about your film. We encourage everybody to come and check the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards. The screening is going to be next week, right here. And tickets are available on Xerb. Xerb is a platform that allow film festivals like us to have digital screenings and virtual events. And it's very easy to get a ticket. It's very easy to watch the films. The quality is amazing. And you have a support 24/7. If you have any trouble getting a ticket, if you have any trouble watching a movie, if you have anything, they have an amazing support. So you can also use that. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time for being here with us. We are very proud to have you all in official selection at the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards 2021. And we're going to see you very soon on the social medias, because what we just did right now, we're going to promote it and post it everywhere. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.